Hello and welcome. In this video, we're going to learn how to send emails from a Node.js application using a famous NPM module called NodeMailer, which is really easy to use and to configure. There's a lot of features that NodeMailer provide to us. We're going to see some of them during the video. And all you're going to need for now is a SMTP service. There's a lot out there like SendGrid, Mailchimp, Mailgun. Amazon has its own SMTP service. But for this tutorial, we're going to need a fake SMTP service. And we're going to use a platform called Mailtrap. If you visit mailtrap.io, you're going to see the website. And the way that Mailtrap works is every mail that you send is going to be received here on the Mailtrap platform. Okay, so let's say you're going to send an email to a Gmail address. Instead of going to that Gmail address, you're going to see it here on Mailtrap. This is just for learning or testing purposes. In production, you definitely want to use a third-party service like the ones I mentioned before. To use Mailtrap, all you have to do is create an account. It's free to use. All you have to do is click on sign up. And there's a lot of ways to create an account. Or if you like, you can use your email and password by clicking on sign up with your email. It's going to ask for your email, password, confirm that password. Once you're done, you can click on sign up. You're going to receive an email to verify your account. There's going to be a link on the email. All you have to do is click and that's it. Once you verify your account, you can go ahead and log in. I'm going to use one of my personal accounts here. Click on next. It's going to ask for the password. Click on login. And this is the Mailtrap dashboard. Okay, you can click on start testing, or here on the left panel, you can click on email testing. And all the emails we're going to send is going to arrive over here. Okay. As you can see, I don't have any inboxes on this project. And to create a new inbox, all you have to do is click on add inbox and give it a name. I'm just going to put main over here. Click on save. And that's it. I have a new inbox here. So every email that we're going to send is going to arrive here on this main inbox. I'll get back to this screen later to configure NodeMailer. We're going to need some information that Mailtrap is going to provide to us. We can go ahead and get started on coding. I have my VS Code open here. Please feel free to use any code editor you prefer. I have a folder here called Send Emails with Node.js open on VS Code. And it's an empty folder. We're going to create everything from scratch. We're going to start by opening the terminal here on the top and installing NodeMailer. So npm install NodeMailer. Hit enter. Perfect. As you can see here, we have a package.json file with the NodeMailer library under the dependencies object. And next, I'm going to create a new file called index.js. And here on the top, we're going to start by importing the NodeMailer library. So const NodeMailer equals to required NodeMailer. Next, we need to create an object to receive the SMTP details, like the host, the port, the user, the password. And in NodeMailer, this is called a transport object. So I'm going to create a new const here called transport equals to NodeMailer dot create transport, which will receive an object with the SMTP details. So inside this object, I'm going to start by typing the host property. And all this information we can get inside the Mailtrap platform. So back to Mailtrap. Inside the main inbox we created, there's a property called integrations. I'm going to open the options here and I'm going to select Node.js, NodeMailer. And as you can see, Mailtrap provided us the complete NodeMailer create transport configuration, like the host, the port, the user and the password. We can go ahead and copy this entire code by clicking on copy. And back on VS Code, we're just going to replace the const transport we created earlier to the one that Mailtrap provided to us. I'm just going to replace this var here to const, since the transport object is always going to receive a create transport function from node mailer. Next, below the transport const, I'm going to create a function called send email, and inside I'm going to create a new const called mail options, and this is going to be an object that we're going to send later to the transport const that we create above, and it's going to hold information like from, who the email is being sent to, and this can be a string, so I'm just going to put here a random name, John Doe, and an email, john.doe@domain.com. We can also put just the email address instead of formatting like this, or we can replace this whole thing into an object where we can configure these fields separate, like the name, John Doe, and for the email we have a property called address. Just gonna put john.doe@domain.com. Perfect. The next property we need to add is the email address that we're sending the email to. And for that we have a property called to, which can be a comma separated list string or an array of email addresses. But for this first example, I'm just going to put only one address. And I'm going to type a random email since we're going to receive this on Mailtrap, so the email address really doesn't matter for now. For example, user@domain.com. Like I said before, we're going to receive this into the Mailtrap platform, so the email that we're going to send doesn't need to be real. The next option we can configure is the subject, which is a plain string, and I'm going to add any string here like email test. And the last option we're going to add for this first example is the message itself. And for that we have a property called text, which is a string, and I'm going to type here, for example, email sent with Node.js using Node mailer. Perfect. And besides the string, the text property can also be a buffer or a stream, but for this first example we're just going to use a simple string. Next, we need to put all this information together. We need to grab our mail options and pass it to the transport. And for that, I'm going to call here the transport const dot, and there's a function here called send mail, which receives two parameters. One is the mail options that we created here, the object, and the other one is a callback. So I'm just going to copy the mail options, add it here as the first parameter, and next the callback, which return an error string and an object called info, which contains information about the message we just sent. So inside the callback, I'm going to check if there's any errors first by calling if error, and if there's an error, I'm just going to return a simple message on the console log. So console log and backticks, I'm going to put error and $. Inside the brackets, I'm going to put the error variable that the callback returned. If everything works perfect, the message was sent, and we're going to return console log backticks email sent successfully, and info. I'm going to call the info object that the callback returned to us, $ brackets info. And since info is an object, we need to convert this to a string. So JSON.stringify. Perfect. And put the info inside. So everything is done. All we have to do is call the send email function. So send email. Now here on the terminal, we need to run this index.js file. So node index.js. Hit enter. And that's it. Email sent successfully, and as you can see, the info object, we have a couple of informations that Node Mailer provided to us. So perfect. Let's go to the Mailtrap platform now. I'm going to refresh the main inbox. And there we go. The email is here. Let's open. As you can see, we have everything, the subject, from, to, and the message, email send with Node.js using Node Mailer. So everything works perfectly. I'm going to make a few changes here on the to property. As I said before, we can send to multiple emails. And instead of a string, we can change this to an array. So I'm going to put an array here. And I'm going to add another email address. So second.user@domain.com. I'm going to add one more user, another .user@domain.com. Okay, so we have multiple email addresses here. Now back on the terminal, I'm going to clear this out. And let's run again the index.js file. Okay, perfect. Email sent successfully. The info object is here. Now back to the Mailtrap. I'm going to refresh. And there we go. As you can see here on the two, we have the 3 email addresses that we had before. And once again, if this was a production environment and we're not using a fake SMTP service, if these emails were real, they will be sent to the final destination, not here on Mailtrap. Like I said, this is just for testing purposes. Now back on VS Code, as you can see here on the text property, we're just sending the message as a normal string, a plain text. There's no colors or different font sizes or anything like that. We can write HTML code to style our messages, and for that we have a HTML property. And inside backticks, I'll write a quick HTML code with a little bit of CSS, and I'm going to speed the video so we can see the final result. Okay, so just a simple HTML with a little bit of CSS, just changing the colors and the font weights of the texts. And here on the terminal, I'm going to clear this out and run again node index.js file, just so we can see how it looks on Mailtrap. Okay, email sent successfully. Back on Mailtrap, I'm going to refresh the main inbox, and there you go. And here's the message. Hello user is with a green color, and Node Mailer here on the end is bold, and here on the bottom we have regards John Doe as light gray with the font weight as bold as well. A simple HTML code just so we can see how it looks on the Mailtrap platform. Another important feature that Node Mailer offers is sending attachments. We can send just one attachment or multiple attachments. And for this next example, I'm just going to replace the HTML code that we have here, and I'm going to put back the text property with a simple text, email with attachments. And to send attachments with Node Mailer is really easy. All we have to do is set a property called attachments, which can receive an object or an array of objects if you like to send multiple attachments. And we have a few options here. We can grab a file from the system, let's say an image or a text PDF file, any kind of file, or we can actually build a file in real time. Okay, so for this first example, that's what we're going to do. We're going to build a text file. I'm going to create a new object here, and the first property we need to configure is the file name. So just for example, attachment _1.txt. Next, we need to configure the content of the file, and for that we have a property called content, and I'm just going to put a simple string here. Hello user, this is a text file. Okay, very simple. So we don't have this file on the system. We're actually building this on real time. So let's test here on the terminal. I'm going to clear and run again node index.js. Okay, email sent successfully. Now on Mailtrap, I'm going to refresh. And here's the message, email with attachments. And here on the top, as you can see, we have one attachment, attachment1.txt. And here's the file. Hello user, this is a text file. Perfect. Let's do another test with attachments. Let's send multiple attachments. So in here, I'm going to transform the attachments property into an array. So I'm going to put this object inside an array. Okay, because I'm going to insert another object here. So let me format this a little bit. Okay, now let's add another object here. So I'm going to start with the file name. And this one is going to be attachment _2. And this time I'm going to send a file from the system. So I'm going to create a new folder here called attachments. And I'm going to get an image from my computer. I'm just going to drag and drop inside the attachments folder. And here's the image. Now back on the code. As you can see here on the file name, we need to put the extension. And for this image is JPEG. Now, instead of specifying the content, we need to specify the path where that image is. And since the image is inside the project directory, so I'm just going to put dir name, and I'm going to concatenate with /attachments/ the name of the file, which is speech.jpg. And that's it. So this time we're sending two attachments. One is the text file that we built in real time, and the other one it's the image that we have inside our attachments folder. So let's test this on the terminal. Node index.js. Okay, so it took a while because we're actually sending a big image. Okay, so here on Mailtrap, let's refresh. And here's the email with attachments. And here on the top, as you can see, we have two attachments. One is the text file and the other one, it's the image. So let's download. Okay, let's open. And here it is, the attachment _2.jpg. Okay, so everything is working perfectly with attachments. And for this last example using attachments, we're going to see the concept of embed an image into the message body. Usually when we want to insert an image in the message body, we add a link pointing to that image on the web. But let's say, for example, we don't have that image anywhere in the web. What we can do is we can insert as an attachment and we can give a unique name to that image. And that unique name is called content ID. Then on the message, instead of adding the link, we add that content ID, the unique name. So let's get started with the example. I'm just going to change a little bit this attachment array. Instead of sending two attachments, I'm only going to send the image. So let me copy here the image object and replace the entire attachments property. Okay, so as you can see here, we're only sending one attachment, which is the image that we have on the attachments folder. And here on the file name, I'm just going to replace with the original file name. And last, we need to add that content ID, the unique name. And the property for that is called CID, which is a string. And for example, I'm just going to put unique _ identifier at domain.com. You can put any name as long as it's unique for that image. And I'm just going to replace the text property with the HTML property. And inside, I'm going to put a random text email with embedded image. And inside I'm going to add the image tag, and inside the source, instead of putting a link, we need to put that content ID, so CID. And I'm going to copy the CID that we have here and paste on the source. Okay, and now I'm going to close the image tag, and that's it. This is how we embedded an image into the HTML, the message. Here on the terminal, I'm going to clear and run again node index.js so we can test. Okay, email sent successfully. Back on Mailtrap, I'm going to refresh. And here's the email with the message. And as you can see, the image is a little too big. Let's change this so we can see it better. here on the image tag, I'm going to insert a width of 30. So this is going to be very small, just so we can actually see the image. Let me fix this. Okay, perfect. Here on the terminal, let's test again. Node index.js. Okay, perfect. Back on Mailtrap. Refresh again. Okay, here it is, and perfect. As you can see, the image is actually too small now, but that's okay. And here on the top, we have the image as an attachment, and great. So we saw how easy it is to send attachments and embed an image into the message body. And let's see what other features we have here on Node Mailer. So I'm just gonna delete this attachment and this HTML properties here, and I'm gonna replace with the text again, just to put a simple text here, email message. And here on the to property, instead of sending to multiple users, I'm just gonna send it to one. Okay, so let's say we want to send this email as a copy to a different user. We can use the CC field, which stands for carbon copy, and add a different email here. So copy at domain.com. And besides the CC property, we also can send the BCC, which stands for blind carbon copy. And inside, I'm going to put BCC at domain.com. And we're just going to test real quick. So here on the terminal, I'm going to clear this out. Node index.js. Okay, now on Mailtrap, I'm going to refresh again. And here it is. Now on the tech info tab, if you scroll down, you're going to see the to and the CC fields, but the BCC, we're going to have to upgrade our account so we can see it. And as the name said, blind carbon copy, so whatever emails you add into that field, no one will be able to see it, except the user that is added on the BCC field. For this last example, I want to show you how you can connect your personal Gmail account to Node Mailer. And the first thing we need to do is visit myaccount.google.com. This is the home page, and on the left side, you can click on security option. On the security page, you can scroll down and click on the two-step verification option. Once the two-step verification page is open, you can scroll all the way down till you find the add passwords option. You can go ahead and click on the right arrow. Okay, on the app passwords page, here on the app name field, you can put your project's name or any name you like. I'm just going to put project_name. And you can click on create to generate a password. And here's the 16-digit password. Make sure to store this somewhere safe because you won't be able to recover this after. Make sure to create your own password because I'm going to delete this one after the video. So we can go ahead and copy that password and click on done to close this dialog. And back on VS Code, we need to make a few changes on the transport constant that we create. And the first thing I'm going to do is delete the port and the host properties and replace it with the service property. And inside, I'm going to put Gmail. The next change we need to do is inside the auth object on the user property. I'm going to put my personal email, the one that I generate the password, which is io.manfra@gmail.com. And on the pass property, we need to paste the add password that Google generated for us. And I'm just going to remove the extra white spaces here. All good. Now I'm going to make a few changes here on the mail options object. So the first thing I'm going to do is on the from name, I'm going to put manfra.io. Please feel free to put any name you like. And on the email address, I'm going to put contact@manfra.io. Okay. The next change is I'm going to remove the BCC and the CC properties. And on the to property, we need to add an email that actually exists. So I'm just going to copy my personal email here and paste on the to property. Okay. And I'm just going to change the text here. I'm going to put email sent with Gmail account. Okay, let's test this file. I'm going to clear the terminal. and run again node index.js. Okay, all good. Now here on the browser, I'm gonna open my Gmail account. And there it is, the email that we just sent. I'm gonna open. So all the information is here, manfra.io, contact@manfra.io, email sent with Gmail account. Perfect. So in this video, we learned how to send emails from a Node.js application using Node Mailer. We learned how to use Mailtrap on our test environment. And finally, we learned how to connect our personal Gmail account to Node Mailer. And if you like this video, please make sure to subscribe and click on the like button. And I hope to see you in the next video. Thank you.